It's Christmas Crosspoints time. Christmas. This has to be my favorite holiday all year long. The gifts, decorations that show up way too soon and stay way too long, the fact that all of us collectively try to be a bit less shitty. Or at the very least we should, especially given this dung heap of a year. Except, it's not Christmas, it's the 6th day of Hanukkah. So a very happy 6th day to you all, and allow me to say, I would have done a Hanukkah special, but all of them I had either never heard of, included a moose eating shit, or was the Rugrats. We really need more of those. So, like many Christmas specials before me, please accept my apologies, and my one brief reference to your holiday before we focus all of our attention on Christmas this month. Next year, at least one Hanukkah special, I promise. But for now, let's not focus on Christmas and focus on the rarely mentioned transitional period of Cartoon Network. More often than not, when people think Cartoon Network, they're thinking of one of two things. Either the Cartoons era, or the... I guess it ain't really the modern era anymore now, is it? Renaissance era? Whatever, the one with all the 11-minute episode shows. The Adventure Time era, I guess. Moving on. Not forgotten, but mentioned way less, or is just included in the other two, is what I call the transitional period. The shows that came out when the cartoons were reaching season fatigue, or wrapping up, in a time when Adventure Time was getting rejected by Nick for not being the new SpongeBob. Seriously, that happened, look it up. Why is this important? Cause there were some good shows here! Ben 10 was not a cartoon, neither was Foster's, and Flapjack was weird, but it wasn't bad. But for me, the crowning achievement of this era that actually had a satisfying ending was Chowder. This show was also super weird. It's about our main character, Chowder, played by Nicky Jones, trained to be a chef under his mentor and basically fodder figure, Mundell, played by Dwight Schultz. Wait, Murdoch?
Murdoch, can we hurry up? Sure, anything you want.
Alright, cool. Anyway, the plot is simple enough, but the world is weird. The foods are weird. The clothes are a static background that is moved by the character's movement. There's a weird cloud that just... And just so many fourth wall breaks. But, most importantly, pretty much 90% of the named things in this show have a slightly different name. Meaning that this isn't technically a Christmas special, it's just a winter holiday. So, for all the Hanukkah and Kwanzaa celebrators out there that think Christmas is a little overdone, I agree. This is for you. This is Chowder's Christmas free, hey it's Kanishmas. Our show begins with Gazpacho. God damn it, man, why are you dressed as Santa? This is supposed to be Christmas free. Alright, whatever. Our show begins with Gazpacho, played by Dana Snyder, explaining the most magical time in Marzipan City, Kanishmas, and the legend of Kanish Crinkle, who, if you offer him a good gingerbread house, will vomit out presents, but if you make a bad house...
Will you go into an incredible fit of rage, he will!
This show is great. And with that, our backstory is out of the way, and our real story can begin. Wait a minute, is that son alive? And wearing earmuffs? And how the hell is it cold? And why is it affected by the local weather? It's a sun. It's in the cold darkness of space. You wanna know how cold that shit is? It's a shit ton colder than snow. We see Mung buying a Kanishmas tree from a giant tree who is apparently selling his family members. Okay, we're gonna be here all day if we point out all the weird shit in this show. Plus, it ruins the magic. So, we join in with Mung and Schnitzel, who is kinda played by John DiMaggio. I say kind of because he only says Rada. He's a fan favorite. They go looking for Chowder, who is off to see what he wants for Kanishmas, an electric broccoli trimmer with a detachable electric cauliflower trimmer. Alright. Mung voices his concern, however, as it seems a bit too expensive, but Chowder isn't worried because he knows Kanish Crinkle will bring him one, as, in his own words,
"'Cause I've been a good boy, yes sir!"
He goes looking for Kanish Crinkle, running past his... friend? Gorgonzola. And yes, everyone is a food of some kind here. Moving on. He tells Chowder that only babies believe in Kanish Crinkle, which... we'll get back to that a bit later, but the main thing here is Chowder tells Gorgonzola,
"No! You are a weaver of lies!"
and waits in line to tell Kanish Crinkle his wish, only to be confronted by Endive and her ward Panini, voiced by Mindy Sterling and Liliana Mummy respectively. Endive and Mung are trying to see who's the better chef, and Panini has a thing for Chowder. Chowder does not. Okay, backstory over. Endive points out that Kanish has never made it to his house, to which Chowder says he is always stopped by Bigfoot, but that this year he's ready for him. Endive, however, says that Kanish never makes it to his house because Mung's gingerbread houses always suck. Mung-Do responds appropriately. While that's happening, Chowder has some difficulties waiting for Gazpacho dressed as Knish Crinkle.
Darn it, Schnitzel, it's my turn!
He tells him his wish and even seals it with a pinky swear. Mung-Do begins to realize just how fucked he is cause his wife, Truffles, voiced by Tara Strong, points out, well first real quick,
It's the truth. He can handle it. He's a grown man-ish rat, bear, cat sort of thing.
huh, so they are aware that we have no idea what Chowder is. Good to know. Anyway, as she points out, they have never had a good gingerbread house. But Chowder believes that this year it will be different. And in comes the bread making montage, after Chowder gets dressed in his... Well, I'm gonna pretend I didn't just see that. And now we come to the one line that convinced me to review this holiday special.
And nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
God, how this has not been used more often is both a mystery and a sin.
And nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
I can do this all day.
And nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
50 tries later and Chowder realizes he needs a backup plan, while Mung realizes he's pretty fucked too.
Christmas is ruined, and it's all Schnitzel's fault.
Truffle brings up why he doesn't just go and buy one, pointing out that if he doesn't, he'd have to tell Chowder he let him down on Knishmish. Unable to do that, he swallows his
Too big to swallow!
pride and goes to buy the house. But I would like to point this out.
I'll go after lunch.
You go now.
I'll go now.
Dude made 50 big ass gingerbread houses before lunch. They were all shit, but that's pretty impressive. While on his way to buy a gingerbread house, Chowder sees Mung-Do walk into Endive's house. And I must ask, why does he have to buy a house specifically from her? Is she the only one selling it in Marzipan, or is she the closest? Dude is clearly hating every minute of this, so why would he even need to go specifically here? I think there's a story of a monopoly going on in gingerbread houses that we're missing. With that said, Chowder and Panini head off to Knish Crinkle to stop Mung from doing this by talking to Knish. And then this happens.
Be the dream. Live the dream. Touch the dream. Touch it.
I also have no reason for it. Chowder collapses and Panini fucking mutilates this guy to help Chowder.
You see that? That was love power, I tell ya. Love power!
Yeah, love and God knows how much in dentistry bills. Unless this place actually has good healthcare, in which case, good for them. They reach Knish and Chowder begs him to enjoy Mung's gingerbread house, saying that he only wants to make him happy. But it turns out Knish was Gazpacho this entire time. Chowder, now thinking that Knish is dead and that his discarded costume is actually his skin, decides to wear said skin in order to do the plan that will make Mung happy. All within 30 seconds of Knish's death, which, damn Chowder, that's kinda dark. Let's lighten it up by bringing Gorgonzola along. That night, after Mung sets the house in place, Chowder and the gang start on his plan to eat Endive's house, pretend they don't like it, and eat Mung's house and pretend they do like it so that Mung feels better about himself. Unfortunately, the real Knish Crinkle shows up before he's done explaining the plan, which, you remember that one line about Gorgonzola saying only babies believe in Knish? Well, what the hell, man? Knish is very clearly a very real and documented thing, so what the holly jolly fuck? Has Gorgonzola never actually gotten anything from Knish? It's not even based on niceness, it's just based on having a good gingerbread house, so has his father been feeding him lies? What does their family life look like? Anyway, Chowder and Knish battle to get to the gingerbread house first, parodying Christmas specials and wrecking the house until Mung wakes up and sees Chowder eating the house. When asked why, Chowder explains that he couldn't let Mung go through with it.
Well, what's the point of having a special day if it just makes you feel like garbage?
He thanks each of his friends for their help and says that next year they'll make an even better gingerbread house so he can actually get his gift. But Knish, touched by what he just did to make his family and friends happy, decides he can get his gift after all. And that was Chowder's Hey Hey It's Knishmish. Yeah, it still holds up. Chowder is a weird show that is very self-aware, but at its core, there's a really nice message about love and family in a good amount of the episodes. The characters are all likable, and the fact that everyone in this special is driven by trying to make another person happy is really sweet, and in my opinion a shitload better than the "oh no, Christmas is doomed, we gotta save Christmas" or "we gotta save Santa" storyline. Go ahead, think about how many times that storyline's been used, and then cry at the lack of originality in Christmas. This is just a personal story about friends and family coming together, and it's a good special for being just that. So thank you all so much for watching, have a happy Hanukkah, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.